This show is a Phonic Media production.
Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about surviving and thriving through potential business setbacks. Hey friend.
Hey friend.
How the devil are you? Hope all is well in your world, wherever you are around the world. I hope you are healthy, happy, wealthy and wise.
We're not.
We are not. We're none of those things. We are none of those things today on the podcast. So let's preempt
We've got a confession, right? So obviously,
I got another confession. Did you ever like that band, Foo Fighters?
No, I did. No.
Okay,
The
fine.
fact that I didn't even know who that was.
Carry on then.
So we wanted this podcast, obviously, to have a comedy element, should we say? But do you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, you go through stages. It could just be a day, a couple of days, a week, where really you just feel a bit cack. And as much as we want to come here and bring all this humour and energy, we thought actually it's about being real. This podcast is all about being real. So today we thought, well, why not actually dedicate it to surviving and thriving through business setbacks, because we've had lots of things going on in our business that's just left us feeling a bit meh. A bit meh. And
I think you get those meh times, don't
Yeah.
you? And I think if you're like positively minded, you try and fight them all the time. It's like, do you know what? Actually, sometimes just sit in it.
And I've
Just sit
actually
in
got better, because I'm one of these people that, like, if you're feeling a bit down, I will try and like give you some sort of like motivational,
Which is not a
personal
bad
development.
thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I've learned that sometimes actually
You don't want to hear
you
it.
just need to sit in feeling a bit shit.
Yeah.
So also there's a bit of an issue.
This was
today.
not the podcast we were supposed to record today, guys.
So last night I picked up Louis from school, and rather than running off being an idiot with his mates, he was like, oh, my belly hurts. And that's when I thought, okay, there's something not quite right. And when I got home, he was very sick, like physically sick everywhere. And so he can't go to school because he's got to have 48 hours off. But what happens is, weirdly, with kids, the next day, they're quite resilient, which we might come on to later.
Yes.
They kind of bounce back and they seem not 100%, but a bit better. So we thought, okay, well, we've got to record a podcast. And Louis said, can I be on it?
And they have to be off, don't they, now?
Yeah,
in the
they
UK,
have to be off.
in school, if you've been sick, 48
have to
hours.
be, even if he wakes
Standard.
up and he's fine.
Which he has.
Which he's okay. Anyway, so Louis
bit
says,
grey.
I want to come on the podcast. So we were like, brilliant. So we mapped out a whole episode.
Gold.
He's got the headphones on. We got it all set up. We sit down.
Rearranged the studio.
So
Haley's
excited.
love for her child is that deep. She even moved her seat.
I did. I let
because
him
she
have
only
the
likes the
comfy
one
chair.
nose angle, but she
hello.
let him.
I hadn't even thought about that.
She let him have the seat.
And then the overture started and he just burst into tears and was like, I don't want to do this. So like, brilliant. Okay.
we must have that recorded,
I know,
actually.
yeah. So we might, maybe we should play that. We're really mean. Can we do that?
Yeah, why not?
So what turned into be something that was supposed to be super fun then makes you feel like you're these pushy parents that have forced him into
Come on,
this. Like,
sit
do you want
down.
to do
Do
it?
a podcast.
So now he's sat over there with headphones on.
So
I was
he
going to
can't
say
hear
really
us.
loudly, not really loudly, so he's bursting his eardrum, but he cannot hear. Lou.
Can't hear. Oh,
No,
he did,
can't hear.
He did turn around.
Can't hear us, can you?
You okay over there?
Yeah? You good? Yeah,
Yeah.
carry on playing loudly, yeah? Okay.
Oh, great. He can hear.
Okay. Well, just turn around. Just turn around. I'm going to try not to swear.
So we tried to send him upstairs with a pack of Bomb Bears. He's like, no, I don't want to go upstairs, but I still have the pack of Bomb Bears.
So
So
now
you
he's just
might
sat
now
here,
hear
crunching.
some crunching and scrunching of bags in the background.
But
And
it's the reality,
obviously on this
right?
podcast, you know, there's generally some quite fruity language, but today we're going to have to try and be a little bit more
Oh, I've hurt
mindful
my
of that.
finger.
What
My
have you
knuckles
done?
hurting. I don't know. Just suddenly really hurt.
Injured yourself sat still.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
the
know. I
only
mean, that can
person who
happen. That can happen. So anyway, we're gonna go straight into our review because that is at least a little bit of positivity.
A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of sunshine on an otherwise cloudy day. So a couple of weeks ago, you might remember that the shout out went out to Dive Bunny, not Jive Bunny.
Yeah, I think it was last week actually.
It might have been last week. Dive Bunny, been
Dive
back
Bunny,
on again.
she.
Back
Was
on
that
again.
she? Is it she? I don't know.
Who knows?
He, she,
He,
they?
she, they. All of their pronouns are they. And this week's review, thanks again, Dive Bunny, 5 stars, hitting the perfect note once again. Oh my God, I'm crying again. The peeing with the door open and the denial too. The thought of James taking a picture of Hayley to prove it smiley face, laughing, cry 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 face, hilarious, laughing, side cry face, laughing, side cry face, side cry face. They like gifs.
They find it funny.
They like gifs, basically. So yes, thank you once again.
Not a gift, but just
an emoji. I'm sorry. Oh, she's so down with the kids. She's so down with the kids. So there you go. Dive Bunny is this week's review of the week. Thank you again, Dive Bunny. And if you'd like to get a shout out on the podcast, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review, either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I don't even know if you can leave a review on Spotify. Probably can. I should know that really after having launched 168 episodes of podcast. But there you go.
How many?
168 as of today.
That's so many.
I know.
You are like the best.
168 went live today. Don't want to brag, guys, but kind of a big deal. Just not outside of my own home or my own office. Sometimes not even in my own home or my own office, frankly. But there you go. Dive Bunny, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you'd like to get a review, you can get one. And if you want to leave it on YouTube, you can. And if you want to, we'd leave it wherever.
Stop the hate on YouTube.
We'll come and find you. We'll come and find you.
I must admit, though, when I'm going to loo now, I'm very conscious. Like, that door is shut and it's locked.
Yes.
No peeing with the door open.
Do you feel better for it?
I didn't even think I did it, but there you go.
You clearly do. All right, then, come on. Let's do this. Should we get a bit more resilient? I think we should.
Do it.
Surviving and thriving through business setbacks. What's going on? Why are you feeling meh, first and foremost? What's meh?
So, as you know, me and James both in the infancy years of running our business. So we've discussed this before, how things feel like they're going really well, the momentum's there, and then it's like a plateau. And the thing is, we seem to plateau at the same time, don't we?
Yeah.
And like anything, when you're earning money in your business, it's not like you can just take it all. You've got things to invest in. So like lately you were saying how, sorry, that's
Louis in the background.
Screaming in the background. Remember, Louis, you're not allowed to talk, yeah? Make noises, chew, just be quiet, yeah?
Great stuff.
Can't hear me. So, like, you've had loads of equipment you've had to invest in. You know what I mean? Like
thousands of pounds worth of computers and hard drives.
Expenses, software, all of these things. And
it all comes at the same time, right?
It all comes at the same time.
So I had, a couple of weeks ago, we were like, we need a couple of like Mega Macs, and they were like we'd give them a small business, a small business shout out. We worked with the guys at Click. Who are a sort of a renewal of tech. It was brilliant, and the computers are fantastic, to be fair, and it's actually really sped up the workflow process. Yeah. I'm not going to get too in depth.
No, please, let's not go
breaking it down.
So boring.
But then we needed like a NAS drive, and I was like, what's a NAS? I don't even know what these things are. I just pay for them. So we've done like $6,000 of computers, $2,000 worth of NAS drives.
Yeah.
And then a client was like, oh, I didn't realise I've actually set up 2 payments. So I've been paying you double for the last 4 months. Can I have that back? So that was another $2,000. So all of a sudden, you look at your bank account, and within a week, just 12 grand is just gone. I'm like, oh,
and it's funny because like they're all things like, someone's probably sat there going, well, you should have known it. Someone was paying you double. But
if you're that person,
if you're, shut up that person.
We don't need that negativity.
Need to hear what we're doing wrong.
Don't need that negativity, all right? No. We get it. You we've got this button today because we can't swear because our child is over there being a.
Want to hear how bad we are.
Yeah, we don't want to hear.
We don't want to know that we should always have our money aside for the tax man. We don't want to hear that we should know if someone's paying.
That's not your money. That's not your money. Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah,
everyone's using the VAT.
Come on. There is an element of when you're starting in business. Like we've been doing it a couple of years. That's still like infancy years.
Yeah.
Like you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Sometimes though, I do. This is where I have had not a challenge, but I had a conversation with a client actually a couple of weeks ago, and they told me like their first like 3 or 4 years in business. Yeah. And she was telling me, she was like, oh, we did 200 in the first year. It was just me and a PA. Then we did 450. Then we did 575. Now we're doing 750. I'm like, she's 1 year ahead and she's doing 750 grand. She's like, I just can't break that £1 million mark. I'm like, yeah, bloody nightmare, innit? Bloody nightmare. I can't break the £10.
So this is what I'm saying, right? We don't want to be negative, but you do get to a point where you're working so hard, and then, like for me, for example, I've had loads of people interested in my services, but I know that it's an investment. No, we're not doing it. Not doing it.
No.
Orange Lamp. The best branding and design agency. But like I say, I've had lots of inquiries. I've got a few projects that are coming on board, but they're just being delayed because of things going on internally. And you get a bit like, you're working so hard and then all of a sudden it feels like the runway's just gone. And yeah, I don't know. So it's just been a bit of a weird
I
time.
had it right. I can say it because he's never
Did
going to listen to his podcast. I've had a fella, right? And he was going to do a
Just don't say the
podcast.
name.
I'm right to the name. He was going to do a podcast in like December. And then because of various reasons, he couldn't kick it off. And then he was going to do it about 4 months later. He comes back and goes, oh, yeah, I want to do it now. So we had another phone call. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what's the first steps of the process? I said, pay the invoice. Because that's my new thing. Like, I don't give people time, not in a bad way. But otherwise you end up doing like free consultancy. Yeah. And you have chitty chats back and forth. And nothing ever happens. So I said, I've already had 2 calls with the guy. Yeah. And then I sent him the invoice and it goes to me again for another 6-8 weeks. I even saw one of my other clients who was out with this fella, training. And I'm like, oh, give that person a nudge about podcast. He said, oh, yeah, he was talking about it to me the other day. I'm like... Yeah, but no doubt he'll come back in his own sweet time. Be like, oh, can I start again now?
But it's that challenge of like, you don't want to suddenly be putting that pressure on people. But as a business, you're sort of like, you want to get people across the line so you can like, obviously, so you can make a great podcast or a great brand or whatever. But it is a bit like, if sometimes you feel like you're on this kind of hamster wheel and you're just going round and round, it's like a vicious cycle of like, thinking about when is the money, where's the money coming from? And as you know, like even if you've got clients on a retainer and you can think, oh, this is great, I've got this consistent monthly revenue coming in, and all of a sudden, like a chunk of your retainers, for whatever reason, don't renew or they need to leave, or because everyone's going through the same, aren't they? Like, we're living in a economic crisis. The cost of living is so high. Like everything is just crazy. I'm
definitely seeing that people are being much more cautious, I'd say.
And I think even with me and like the branding, I know the effect it has on people when they have that like solid, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like everything, and it's not just branding, it's not just, sorry, I'm going to sound like an advert now.
It's not just branding, guys.
What I'm saying, it's not just like creating the logo and a nice colour palette. It's like honestly it's like the consultancy behind it, getting people so clear
it's the clarity,
on the direction of that they're going. But sometimes it's like when people are struggling with money, even though that is the thing that they probably need, they don't have it to
it's
invest.
Often said, isn't it? It's the first thing that gets stopped is spending on marketing, but actually that's the last thing that you should be spending the money on, because that's what's driving the leads in, which is really difficult though. If things get tight, and you start to cut your cloth accordingly because you have to, and then you'd be looking at stuff.
Tight,
huh?
Why do I laugh when you say things like tight? I don't know why.
Was it because of tight? You're absolute child, but you do.
You just said things get tight, and then I just always come up with some sort of innuendo. Anyway,
innuendo. People do stop. I remember Grant Cardone.
What your mate Grant?
My mate GC.
Just dropping that in.
GC, just dropping.
G to the C. Never
ever say that again.
Ever say that.
Fact, turn around, face the wall, and feel sorry for yourself. No, but I remember him talk about the one thing where he doubled down. I think in the last financial crisis was he was doing a lot of like property stuff, and all property people were like, "Oh, no one's buying any houses," blah blah blah. He doubled down. He said, "I doubled the spend of marketing, and I just wiped out the competition." Because as everyone else pulled back, do you want to have a laugh about that?
Yeah.
Pathetic. As everyone else was pulling back, he was thumping his way in. So
that's a great.
When everyone else pulls back, thump your way in life, business, or even if you're.
But awful. But we were saying as well.
Wink.
We are gonna make it more positive and try and come up with some. Well, no, for ourselves as well, some valuable insights. We've got some research and 10 top tips how to survive and thrive that we're going to come on to.
Why are you loving caressing that paper? Because I can hear that in my microphone.
Sorry, it's really annoying. But we were saying as well the other day, right? I don't know if anyone can resonate with this. And when we're saying small business, I mean, I guess we're talking about businesses that have got like...
Small business by its definition is...
I guess it's like micro business and small business. Like I'm a micro business. Yeah. I guess maybe we both are in actual terms.
Probably, yeah.
But like, yeah, we're talking about, like the people that are running business where it's like, yeah, you're in those infancy sort of 5 years... You're turning over good money. It is increasing, but obviously just all the challenges that come with it. And we were saying this is so interesting that, and we both do it, that you're so thinking about like your services and marketing yourself, getting your content online, which is all like super important. And then you're thinking about, okay, I need to convert some clients, you know, because you want to try and build up this like revenue income. But then actually the thing that you don't focus on the most is your prospects. So for example, like I've got this amazing quiz that people can do to go and assess their brand and impact.
Guys, do you want to do a quiz?
Go to orangeland.co.uk.
Take the quiz.
Brand impact quiz, just 3 minutes, free. Don't know why I did 2, free. Can't do 3. I find that hard to do that. I've got like a bit weird hands, haven't I?
Oh yeah.
I thought about my toe earlier, I think my toe's broken. You know, like when you're little and you just like run into a chair and like your toes just like, ow. I think I broke my toe when I was little.
Okay.
Anywho, so I was saying, James, I'm spending so much time like putting out all this like interesting content, but actually I've got people taking this quiz and I haven't actually worked out a really good like email sequence to keep giving them value and, you know, how I can support them. I was like, so how stupid is that? So I'm saying I need more work or I want more work. And I've got people over here that are going, hello, I've taken your quiz. You can see everything where I'm struggling. And I know that I've got services that can help them, but I'm not focusing on them. What a mug.
Maybe you should be there. You should be the mug. Who's the mug? Who's the mug? Hayley's been a mug. Been a right mug.
I bet
but a lot of people do this. A lot of people do. We have so I'm part of running a mastermind called Fortitude, which has got 6, 7 and 8 figure businesses.
Whoa.
Yeah, guys.
Whoa.
If you want to join Fortitude, get in touch. You can't actually. You can only join up once a year. But it was really interesting. The last session, we had somebody in talk about cash flow.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 businesses were like, oh my God, I've learned some stuff today that I need to implement straight away.
Yeah.
And the other person we had on the second day, so we always have expert speakers and then we do round tables. It's just a great mastermind, guys. It's a great mastermind. Fortitude.
It's the best.
Can't join up though. And
it's like giving and then.
And the second person was a TikTok expert.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I've got to be doing TikTok. I've got to be doing TikTok." But I'm like, "But the message behind your marketing isn't quite aligned yet."
Yeah.
And if you did get more leads, because this is the thing, everyone thinks, like you say, they want more leads. But actually, exactly like in your case, are you converting those leads properly?
Exactly.
Like, what is the process? And people hear like systems and processes and go, oh, and it's not the sexy stuff and it's not the cool and exciting stuff.
Is it
but
not
a process.
sexy?
It could be sexy if you sometimes.
Yeah. Email sequence. Sexy emails. Oh yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Talk to me, email.
Anyway, but a process could actually, you're saying like it's not sexy and it's not, but actually.
No, I said it is.
If somebody, this has got a bit of a froggy face. I said it. I said it.
Sexy voice.
Is that your sexy voice? Right. Oh God, it's like a gremlin.
I love gremlins.
You're a very attractive girl, but you're not. You don't do sexy, do you? Actually think about it. Do you?
I mean, I don't know. When do I have a reason to? Although, to be fair, yesterday, if you'd seen me working from home, I was like, this ain't a good look. I actually went upstairs halfway through the day and was like, I need to sort this out. And went and put some makeup and did my hair. I was like, this is not the person I want to be today. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Because we'd had a bit of a bad few days where we just, finish your story.
But yeah, sorry, in your process, for example, you're doing content to generate more leads. But like I say, if you're not nurturing the leads, if you don't have and the process can be dead simple.
Yeah.
It could just be like, someone gets an autoresponder.
Yeah.
Or then it drops into like a standard email newsletter list, so then at least you're hitting them each week.
And the thing is, if I'm brutally honest, there's probably part of it that when you think about selling or sales, it feels a bit icky. A lot of people find that a bit icky. Like
I don't think you do anymore, do you?
No, I don't. So like if I'm on a call with someone who is interested in something I offer, I see it as just a conversation to see if what they need and if I'm a good fit. And if I don't think I am, I'll be honest. Does that make sense? So that doesn't stress me out. But when you start thinking about email nurturing sequence, it feels a bit, I can't explain it. It can feel a bit like not
contrived.
authentic. Yeah, because most of my work has come from word of mouth. So it's always been like someone's probably recommended me. I jump on a call, I build a rapport straight away. This is different. This is someone who I don't know, taking a quiz, and then how can I then, you almost feel like convert them.
You do have to convert them.
I know,
but
what
when
I'm
you're
saying is
doing a
when you
good
start
service
saying
for a good
that,
value price like you do, it's your you've got to think it in your mindset. It's your duty to make that sale.
And something clicked recently, and I sat in on a webinar because I do like learning. I thought I sat in, it was about like funnels, and it was really interesting. And it's something clicked that it's like, yeah, it's exactly that. It's not about, yes, all right, ultimately we all want to generate business, okay, but it's about actually these people are taking the time to take a quiz. I can see where they're struggling, so I can now offer them some information, some tips and advice. Like I offer people a free brand feedback where I will...
What?
I know. Where I will literally... Maraca.
Whether you're at the beach or you're at your desk, why not get a free video consultancy about your brand through Orange Lamb and her Score app?
That's really...
Sorry, what was the point you were getting to there? Just trying to... yeah, that was...
What a great service. Like I'm actually saying, give me the links to your website, your social media, and I do like a bespoke 5-minute video where I basically give them some tips.
Guys!
No, but what I'm saying is...
Guys, if you haven't done that, quite frankly, you're crazy.
Do it, guys. No, but what I'm getting at is that is so valuable. So why have I given myself a bit of a block that all of a sudden, like, getting on the phone with someone and building connection, that is, like, valuable and it's authentic, but this is a bit, like, icky and a bit, it's just not.
No, it's not.
But I just saying, like, the whole point of that was just how many people are focusing on marketing yourself, which I'm a massive believer in, but then aren't doing anything with people that are actually engaging as well.
The other thing that a lot of people don't do is actually sell more stuff to the people they've already got. So this is a really big one, I think. When you're, again, you can sort of like go do the sales and the marketing and all that stuff and be looking outwardly.
Yeah.
But what about the people that you've actually got already?
Yeah.
So I've actually got a couple of clients who are part of Fortitude Masterminds.
Yeah.
We're already making their content.
Yeah.
But from hearing them the other day, I'm like, oh, actually, we need to shift your content because this is not adding as much value because you're saying the wrong message to the wrong market, which you only... So again, I think if you've got a business, look at the service that you offer. And again, it's not about doing smarmy sales pitches or telling people stuff that they don't really need. But there's probably people, if you've got a product or service that's generally good, if you haven't got a service that's good, then get out of business,
What is a smarmy?
Be like, hello, baby, right here. So about your podcast.
Come on, pitch me. Pitch me as Electri Len.
I'm not going to pitch you as Electri Len.
Pitch me as Electri Len.
Pitch you what?
A podcast.
You've already got a podcast.
Pitch me again.
You don't need...
Come on.
We could just about get this one off the ground.
Pitch me, Electri Len. Pitch me.
I'll pitch you all day. Anyway, so looking at those clients you've already got, and is there, like, you've changed your offering recently, so there's people that have gone through and had, like, your branding package,
oh my God,
which is amazing value, by the way. But could you, now your sort of consistent content package, would some of them benefit from it? 100%. Yeah. Have you gone back to all of your old clients and said, hey, this is my new offering?
Have not done that.
Because you're a mug. Aren't you?
And what I was going to say earlier, I
can't find my mug.
When I nearly interrupted James, but then I was good and I stepped it back. Really?
Who's a mug? Who's a mug? Hayley's being a mug.
Who has?
Hayley.
Hayley.
Hayley's being a mug.
Hayley. Anyway, what I was saying earlier, and then I didn't interrupt you, is that we have had a few, let's just say, challenging few days where, like I say, things haven't maybe crossed the line that we'd hoped in our businesses. We have like anyone, you've got nursery fees to pay, your car, you know, your house, all this kind of stuff. Cost of living's high, and then you were just feeling a bit just not yourself the other day, weren't you?
It was not good.
So again, if anyone works with their partner or, you know, like,
stop doing 75 hard.
Just
got out of beast mode. Just fully fell off the wagon. And 21 days in and I stopped.
But you were just feeling so low and you were like, again, maybe that was all part of it. Because you have been like really, not burning the candle at both ends, but you've been doing, like 2, like 45 minute
keep training with sciatica. That's probably
training with sciatica,
idea,
like just, and you were just really low, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to go out. It's like you just want to trap yourself away. And I was like, no, we're going out to a vintage car show. Just come out and get some fresh air. And so that day, I'm like, positive Hayley, let's be positive, but then also aware that he just needs a bit of space. But then, of course, the next day, seeing your partner who's struggling and going through, like, just feeling a bit, you then almost, like...
Pick up that energy.
Yeah. So then when I sat at my desk Monday, you kind of suddenly feel like, there's just this, like, overwhelm, those feeling of, like, like an anxiousness, and then actually that's what it is. You're just making yourself feel like that when you actually sit and you plan out what you've got to do and what you've got going on. Like it's, you know, you just got to push through it. But I must admit, we're at that point, we were like, oh, okay. We always say, what is it, when everything feels a bit like tough or a bit like everything's changing, or it's like it's the universe testing, big things are going to happen. But then you do sometimes feel like, how many times do we say that? But it's weird because then we're sat here, but then if we were feeling like more positive, actually like all the things we've got going on are fantastic. Do you see what I mean? And also,
I think you touched on something a second ago.
Did I?
With I wish you would touch on it a bit more often. Hey. Do you want to spit that back out? You all right there?
Perimenopause is really playing a part in our sex life, isn't it? Good excuse.
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
What are you drinking? Why are you drinking so loud? Have you left the bag of I'm just going to let everyone enjoy that on the camera. Don't spit it back out. But actually, you mentioned about the child. But when you do get overwhelmed, I think sometimes, and this is what I have, this is why I stopped doing 75 hard, if I'm going to be really honest. When I was going out for those walks, I was just like, I would come back with, it felt like just like a cyclone of stuff in my head. I was like, oh my God, it didn't help. You know, sometimes you go out for a walk and get, you know, clear your head. I went out for a walk, and the longer I was out, the more like brain fog was in there. And then I'll come back and I'm like, oh my God. But actually, if you break stuff down and put it on paper, right, what's the first steps I need to take?
Yeah.
What's the challenge? What am I actually feeling here? Because I think sometimes when you've got lots of, it's almost like when you're spinning too many plates, it becomes overwhelming. Then overwhelm is this like blanket thing. How do you feel? I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
But in those moments, when you need it the most, is probably when you do it the least.
And also, coming back full circle, what we were saying about, you know, like sometimes when like, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Like, yeah, all right. I'm a pretty positive person. But sometimes, do you know what? You feel a bit shit, just feel a bit shit. And sometimes, you know, when people feel shit, sometimes they don't need the person to be sat there giving them like the motivational speech. And I know, but I'm honest, I've really learnt that. And sometimes, like, I had a friend going through a really awful time, and normally I'd be like, straight away with like personal development, like motivate her and give her all this advice. And I was like, do you know what? You're going to feel cack.
Yeah.
Life has just chucked you a massive curveball.
Just sit in it.
Sit in it. Because I know that in a couple of days, a week, you're going to come out of it and then you'll come back fighting. But sometimes you just got to sit in it. So for anyone that's feeling a bit cack,
what solid motivational talk this is. If you're feeling, maybe you've got a stutter and that's why you're not feeling amazing. Start again. Or do you need some dramatic music? Right, here we go.
If you're feeling a bit crap, maybe your business has got a bit challenging. Maybe you've got cash flow issues. Maybe, I don't know, your kid's off sick and it's just thrown a massive curveball in your life. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Do you know what? Listen to yourself. If you feel like, do you know what? I just don't want to think about anything. That's your body telling you just need to switch off.
Switch off.
Put on Netflix. Put on Prime. Watch something. Watch some telly. Just relax. Don't worry about social media.
Don't worry.
Just think about yourself.
Namaste.
Namaste. And just feel shit. It's all right. It's all right. Just feel shit.
Solid.
Thanks.
Now, having said all that stuff, we've actually broken down some stuff.
Yeah, well, we haven't, but we've researched it.
Yeah, surviving and thriving.
So,
with some of the challenges. Hang on.
Am I having a stroke?
I think you might be. Here we go then. Let's go and have a look at how you can survive and thrive through your business setbacks.
Okay, so here we go. Number 1, embrace a growth mindset. So view setbacks as opportunities for learning and improvement. Shift your perspective to see them as stepping stones to success rather than roadblocks. I do agree with that.
Yeah, difficult to do it in the moment, but I get it.
There are sometimes you just feel like, fuck off. Like, I don't want to learn from this. I just want it to be better. But embracing a growth mindset, to constantly think that I think that's more about like still seeing that there's like a road and a direction, and it's just like, I can't talk.
Kind of out of the direction.
Yeah, just the challenges are, lessons to overcome.
The situation won't change, but your mindset towards it will.
Oh, I like it.
Do you know what I mean though? But it is true though, isn't it? Anyway, number 2, practice resilience. Develop resilience to bounce back from setbacks, cultivating a mindset that allows you to adapt, persevere and stay motivated during challenging times. Again, difficult to do. at the time, but
I think
super beneficial.
I would say we are quite resilient. And then sometimes you sort of feel like, what is it all for? Because like, you know, some may say, well, we're choosing to put this pressure. Excuse me. We chose to set up a business. Do you see what I mean? We chose to go down this route. You chose to scale it so you've got staff, etc. And sometimes I do sit there and I think, are we crazy? Should I just go and get a job?
I came home last night and you said, should we just sell up and move to Australia?
Yeah, I know. My brother lives in Oz and I was like,
I love
shall
Oz
we?
as well.
But then I was thinking,
I live in
as
Melbourne.
I said, a friend that I was talking about earlier who took on a dream job and then they just literally out of nowhere took it completely away. And so then you think, actually, we're in a position where at least we can create our own opportunity and remain in control.
And if you run a business, that is the reality for you as well. It might be tough, but at least you're in control of your own destiny. Because if you've got a job, you know, like the whole job for life thing, it don't really exist anymore. And
not to scare anyone.
You might sort of look at it and go, oh, well, I've got, you know, 60, 80, 100 grand a year salary, whatever it may be. But you're never in full control. Yeah. Someone could just change the direction of the business or whatever.
Pull your pants down when you're not looking.
Pull your pants down.
Is that a saying?
I don't think so, apart from no, don't think so.
I'm sure that's a saying, like pull your pants down when you're not looking.
Oh, yeah, someone could pull your pants down, yeah. Not when you're not looking. Like, oh, what's happened? Whoop. We used to do that to each other when we were like teenagers.
Me and you?
No, not me and you. Not me and you. When we were younger, we used to wear shabby tracksuits and someone would like debag you. And I was once in the middle of a pub and someone had done my trousers but also grabbed my pants. So I just stood there with a pint. Just my cock and balls hanging out.
James, I've got a great story of when me and James, you know, when I talk about James is more, not alcoholic, but like to drink days, and we were, what do you remember, we'd gone out with your friends Ray and Skivs.
Oh god, yeah.
And we'd gone to a nightclub. I think that was the nodding dog dance on the dance floor in your bomber jacket, and I think that ended up somehow with like your pants around your ankles walking across the high street in Angel.
I had no
trying to house down a cab, and then I look round, your trousers were just around your ankles. I have no idea why.
Neither do I.
Anyway.
And that's why I don't drink anymore. Anyway, next bit of advice.
Seek support. So surround yourself with a supportive network of mentors, fellow entrepreneurs, or a business community. They can provide guidance, insights, and encouragement during setbacks. That
one I think is so important. And I reckon less than 5% of people will actually turn to someone when things. Oh yeah, I reckon so.
You're a little bit like, you're not very good at turning. I don't think you talk about maybe things you're going through until it kind of gets to the point where you like, wow, it really hits you.
But then equally, I've got a lot of good mates who I can turn to for advice and guidance on stuff, who I will ask for advice and guidance.
Yeah, I've definitely got a lot of people that I surround myself with who I can ask for. Well, I've got like friends who are more, should I say, more like the emotional support. And then I've got like people in business that I've got some great like little tribes around me.
But you've actually got a business coach, haven't you?
So I've got a business coach.
So you've actually got someone who can having another bloody shout out.
But, all day long.
All day. But I think having those people, but then being willing to, because I have got, if I was really struggling, I suppose that when you are really like,
you don't always.
You feel under the cosh a little bit. You don't.
Under the cosh.
Under the cosh. That's the thing, isn't it? Do you know what kosh is?
Is it that metal thing?
Yeah, the posh thing in a restaurant.
That's how we have breakfast, isn't it? I serve it like I serve it like I'm the waitress.
Yeah, seek support. Anyway, I think very important.
Get support.
Very, very few people do it. So it will be very beneficial if you did. Analyse and learn. Take the time to analyse what went wrong and why. Identify the lessons learned and use them to improve strategies and decision making going forward. This one's a really good one, right? So we've had a podcast that we've launched literally today, actually, and we've worked with a client on another podcast for a number of years, and I really like them, but the communication between their side and our side has been an absolute pain in the arse.
Oh dear.
So actually what I could do, and what I did do last night when I got a phone call at 20 to 5 saying, hey, can we change all of these marketing assets for the show that goes live tomorrow at 5 o'clock? And I was sat in traffic and I was absolutely furious and was on my way home because I felt sick as well. I was like, this is not a good combination. But actually, I could either just get annoyed about it or I could look at it and go, right, okay, let's look at the strategies and decision-making to go forwards. Like, where has the breakdown of communication happen? sign off. We had sign off from someone their side, but it wasn't the right person apparently. So then I've sort of had to go back and go, well, with respect, like this has been agreed.
Yeah.
So now we're having to double do stuff, but it just goes to show that actually we are using Slack for all the day-to-day communication, and actually the boss of that firm doesn't really jump on Slack very often. It gets very, very busy, doesn't really look at it. So actually, in that instance, we need to be emailing people. When there's big decisions, right, an email needs to go around to go, this is what we've discussed and this is what's been confirmed. So now, moving forwards, instead of just getting fucked off about it, I can actually go, right, any big sign-off of stuff, when there's multiple decision makers, it gets emailed and put into Slack.
Yeah.
Just in case that people miss it.
Love
so there you
it.
go. I can learn, I can reframe and analyse and learn. Next. Bloody hell, how many of these have we got?
We need to speed up.
Yeah, speed up. Go.
Reframe failure.
Yes.
See failure as feedback, an integral part of the entrepreneurial journey. Embrace a growth mindset that allows you to learn from mistakes and pivot when needed. I feel like that's a bit of a rehash.
That's a cop-out, isn't it?
Moving on.
That's a cop-out. Number 6, maintain a positive attitude. Stay positive and optimistic. That's about the same, isn't it? Jeez, how many of these are just like, just feel good about stuff?
Completely goes against everything.
Stay positive and optimistic. Even when facing setbacks, a positive mindset can help you to navigate challenges with more clarity, creativity and resilience. It's actually true.
It is so true because, like I say, yesterday morning when I'm sat there going, oh, woe is us. Oh, why are things so hard in business? What does that actually do? Nothing. Just makes you look at all the things that are like bad. But then yesterday I took on 2 new clients. If I actually look at how my day went, it was an amazing day because I had a word with myself. I went and made myself look better, which sounds silly. I went upstairs. I was like, I'd had a shower, washed my hair. If I do not straighten my hair, it's not a good look, is it? It's a bit Tina Turner-esque, isn't it?
Nutbush City Limits, Tina.
Nutbush City Limit. American Bombay.
All right, we get it.
Rolling down a river.
Are you finished?
No. Anyway, whatever.
Which one was that? I don't even know. Adapt. Was that Adapt?
No, that was maintain a positive attitude.
Oh, there you go.
Adapt and innovate. That's me.
Oh, go on then.
Adapt and innovate. Be willing to adapt your business model, strategies, or product services based on market demands and feedback. Oh,
that
this
is
is
good.
interesting.
Yes, that is good.
Embrace innovation as a way to overcome setbacks and stay competitive. That has just resonated with me because I read something this morning. A lady that I learn who does LinkedIn training, Leah Turner, absolute legend, and she'd written a post about how she kind of created this business, and one of the things was that she created services and offerings for all different price points. And it is interesting, isn't it? Because I was saying, like, people are going through this economic crisis, money's tight, and then one of my packages is quite a lot of money to invest. And I was saying to you, but you can't then suddenly be like, oh, I just slashed the price because it goes against everything that you stand for. And I know that
because the price is a reflection of the value.
Exactly.
So you can't reduce that.
And I can't cut corners with it. Does that make sense?
But what you can do is
but then you sort of think,
service.
oh, is there something else? It's quite an interesting thought. Anyway.
And actually, if you look at like Leah, for example, because I interviewed her for one of my other podcasts, and she was at one point doing she's a transcription VA.
Yeah.
And then she would just add services that people needed. And then she got better at LinkedIn. She's like, oh, this is actually quite good. I'll do some consultancy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do a group program. I'll do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes, again, you can get so fixated on, oh, this is what we do and this is how we've always done it here.
Yeah.
But you don't look at the opportunities of potentially, well, let's just do something different.
Yeah, interesting.
Because you can adapt and innovate. Number 8, take care of yourself. Self-care is crucial during challenging times. Blah, blah, blah.
No, that's actually really important.
Blah, blah, blah.
Read it.
Yes.
Prioritise your physical and mental well-being to maintain the energy, focus and resilience needed to navigate setbacks.
True.
For
Again, it's the last
example,
thing that you
are
want to do.
feeling so unwell today.
Yes.
Like you don't know if you're actually going to, like there's obviously a bug going on in our house, yet you're still thinking you're going to push yourself to go out to meetings and things, which I know that tomorrow you will feel dreadful.
Oh, well.
Honestly,
tomorrow.
Take care of yourself. It is probably the thing that we all put least on our list, but it should be the number one priority because if we don't feel good, then we're not gonna give value to us, to our business.
Oh,
to
I
our
thought
life.
that was going to be a better tagline. If you don't feel good, you can't do good. That's what I was thinking.
If you don't feel good, you can't do good.
It's good. It's good.
Like it.
Go on, number 9.
Reassess goals and priorities. Setbacks can provide an opportunity to reassess your goals and priorities. Use them as a chance to refine your vision, align your actions and focus on what truly matters. Just think, what the hell is it all for?
But that is true as well, because I think often you will have, you'll set those goals in like January, for example. You get to like halfway through the year, which we're kind of like coming up to. And you're like, am I in line with this? Am I on line with this? Have the services changed?
Yeah.
And if you're not chasing an actual, real, tangible goal, then there's no point having that in the first place, because it would just be saying you either beat yourself over the head with like, I haven't achieved this. Or you've just completely changed what you wanted to focus on.
Last one like this.
Last one, celebrate your progress. Acknowledge and celebrate even little wins along the way. Yes. Recognise your progress that you've made despite the setbacks and use it as motivation to keep moving forward. So that is, I would say, very good advice.
Tell me something. Celebrate something. Tell me something great that's happened this week.
Something great that's happened this week. We've launched 168th podcast as an agency.
Love it.
So
see? And do you actually tell yourself, oh wow, that's great, or is it just something that happened and you don't really
probably something that just happens? But really, like, I remember if I look back at like what it felt like the first time back in 2017, I was like, oh, it's like the biggest thing ever. And then to see it work and see it go into the charts and all that stuff. Actually, when I watch it today, because it will go into the charts, it's already got good traction. Then it will be.
Love it. I think for me is one of my clients on my content retainer I've started working with. She left like this beautiful just comment today on just like how much she's enjoying working with me, but how it's like really helped her with like, the overwhelm and just feeling like I'm I don't know, like a little cog for someone they can turn to. Makes me feel good.
You'll always be my little cog.
So remember, guys, setbacks are a natural part of entrepreneurship. By implementing these tips, you can not only survive through business setbacks, but also thrive, come out stronger on the other side.
You can do it. We believe in you. The question is, do you believe in you?
So hopefully next week we'll be back to our normal fun selves, guys.
Chatty, chirpy,
But remember, sometimes when life gives you lemons, it's not always about making lemonade. It's about sitting back, putting your feet up and just bloody well sitting in it.
Sometimes you might want to make the lemonade, but you squeeze the lemon in your eye and you have that acidic burn in your face. That's just reality, isn't it?
Feel the burn, guys. Feel the burn.
Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, make sure you leave us a 5-star review wherever you download your podcast or on YouTube as well. I've been James Burt. She has been
Hayley Appleby Burt.
And this has been Business Marriage, bringing you surviving and thriving through business. We hope that you survive and thrive, and we'll see you again this time next week. Bye-bye now.
This show is a Phonic Media production.